All right. Thank you all for attending the open house for practicaltravelgear.com. I'm Eric Layton, the selling broker, and this is Tim Leffel, the seller. Tim, say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming.
Great. So we'll just start with a few key points before we get the show on the road. Just a few admin points. If you haven't already dialed into the audio bridge, please do so now. You can also use your computer's integrated audio to listen in. During the call, you will all be on mute. If you'd like to submit questions, please do so using the questions feature in the webinar's control panel. It's a little chat box, the chat feature. I will generally field all questions during the webinar, not at the end. I find it's a bit more up to date if we take the questions live and go through them as they are asked. So on from there. What you see here is the Latona snapshot. What you've all been seeing and why you're here is what what got you interested in the actual site. The financial snapshot, as we see, it's the annual revenue, annual COGS. There are no COGS. That's why it says contact us, obviously. Annual expenses and annual profit. Monthly uniques, monthly page views, Alexa rank, which is monthly, Google rank, and current asking price. Site visibility, domain site, SEMrush stats are all there as well. Those are all open source and can be viewed on your own time. So Tim, why don't you give us a little history about the site and how it's evolved through time, and start off from there.
Sure. Well, back in the old days, last decade, I started something called Practical Travel Gear on the Blogger platform all by myself, and was just doing some sporadic reviews now and then. But it was fairly popular enough that it was making some money, and so eventually I bought the domain practicaltravelgear.com and hired some other writers so that we could put up a new post each weekday, and we've been doing that ever since 2009. So we've got a long domain history there and a long tail of content, basically almost every weekday, for all those years. And so there are a lot of pages on the site. That doesn't mean that all of them get lots of hits, of course. Some products aren't around anymore, and so they're not real relevant. But we do get a tremendous amount of archive traffic, on reviews that are still relevant. And so I think we are kind of ahead of the pack in the sense that we are putting up something fresh each weekday between the four of us. There are me and three other writers. And we do focus on things that normal people buy and travel with, so we're not reviewing, $12,000 watches and, $20,000 skis and crazy expensive bikes and things like that. It's just what you would find at your local REI or equivalent store in your neighborhood, and what people are actually going to take on vacation or in the great outdoors. And it's a pretty self-explanatory kind of site from the content sense. You can pick it up pretty quick about what it's about, and I think that helps us on the revenue side as well. Most of our readers are people that are in buying mode. They're searching for information on a kind of product or a specific product, and a lot of times they'll click through the affiliate links and buy it and maybe add a few more things to the cart as well. And then we do have some direct ads, and that's fairly regular. I mean, it fluctuates, but we usually have one or two direct advertisers, and on this slide here you can see two of them that are current. Sea to Summit is at the top, and Clothing Arts is in the sidebar there. And I've got another ad call this afternoon with another client that's probably going to start with us in a month or two. So that's pretty much how it works. And the three writers, before that scares you off, I pay them $15 a post, so it's not exactly a big drain. That's what the expenses are on here.
Okay, great. I actually have a question. Do you ever have to find new writers, and how do you find those new writers?
The ones that have been with me have actually been with me for about 3 years now, I think, all of them. There is some occasional turnover where somebody will leave because they're too overwhelmed and have too much on their plate. Everybody's gone on good terms, but but I think the last time I replaced somebody was 3 or 4 years ago. If people do leave, it's not too hard to find someone else who is dying to do this kind of gig, because they get free travel gear and apparel and luggage and whatever, so there's quite an incentive there. And I have a really big pool of writers that I can pull from just because I have a lot of writers in my network from doing this for a long time and going to conferences and things like that. But in theory, you could just stick up an ad or put something out on social media and probably get a dozen applicants within a day or two.
Right. Yeah, and they are paid in gear as well, besides that $15 a post. So that's probably the main incentive for them to keep writing. All right. And then what are we looking at here?
This is our Facebook page. We were a little late to the game on this. I think it's about 4 years old, but we have, it's about 620 likes today, I guess. There's not a huge amount of engagement there, and that's partly because I've tended to spend my time on other things rather than on social media, because I realize it's important, especially for the brands. They love it, and so we always try to tag the brand when we put something else, and they will spread the word themselves a lot of times. But frankly, I've found that spending time on other aspects like SEO especially brings in a lot more fruit than spending a lot of time on social media. But we do have an active Facebook account, an active Twitter account, and then I also promote things on cross pages for other websites that I run.
This is a live question. What is the most effective social media for driving traffic? Which account? Twitter or Facebook or YouTube?
It varies a little month to month, but it's either Facebook or Pinterest. A lot of people will pin pictures of gear that they are thinking of buying or they're looking at, and so we do get some decent traffic from Pinterest because those links stay up forever, unlike things that fly by in a heartbeat on Facebook or Twitter.
Right.
But Facebook's decent too. It's just if you added them all together, they would still probably be 1/4 what Google sends.
Perfect. And then this is the Wayback Machine, just archiving pages from 2009 to the present. Big jump in 2012. Were you creating a lot of content in 2012 or abnormally large amount of content?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe just got indexed better then or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not really sure. Because we have more traffic now than we did then, so it's not based on that.
And the traffic looks like it's holding steady. Little increase actually through January and this through April. Just Google Analytics, and obviously Tim will share Google Analytics with any buyer that wants to further analyze the traffic through Google.
Yeah, it's fairly steady. There's a little bit of a seasonal spike around the Christmas holidays from people buying gifts, but it's not major.
Perfect. And it looks like a broad English-speaking market, basically. United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, then some Singapore and Germany. Got some nice international presence. Do you do anything internationally as far as SEO work, or no?
Well, not particularly, and I run other websites, and I got to say that this one has the highest U.S. presence of any of them, and I don't know if that's because some brands are more specific to the U.S. than they are worldwide, or if it's because of the retail availability, things like that. We are dealing with physical products rather than just travel, which I write about a lot, which is pretty universal. So it is primarily from the U.S., but of course that's easier to monetize as well because you can send them to a much greater array of retailers than you could. It's hard to connect with retailers from around the world.
Right. Logical. So more Google Analytics, just organic search, direct, referral, social media. These can be looked at in greater detail as far as goals and sessions. As far as the buyers if they want to get deep in depth in Google Analytics, this is a perfect amount. And little kind of backlinks where it's coming from, Flipboard, Feedly.com, etc. Nice array, nice spread out array of people coming from different sites. And then Majestic SEO stats, basically backlinks. How healthy are the backlinks? Look pretty healthy, referring subnets, external backlinks 10,000 plus. Really nice. And then obviously Majestic SEO statistics again. Again, open source. You can see this at your behest. And a typical backlink, briggsriley.com. Do you do any kind of backlink building when you're doing SEO, Tim?
A little bit, but not very much. Most of that has come about organically. I do run some other sites of my own, and I, of course, link from those, and those links will all stay up. But sometimes we do a guest post, which is the series called 5 Things I Always Pack, and we do that partially to get links from whoever's being featured, and they we'll put out social shouts and whatever. But we also get a fair number from the manufacturers on their press kit page or their media page, and I do encourage that and try to ask them to do that when I send them a notification that we've reviewed their product, because those might not be as valuable as getting something from Yahoo or Boing Boing or whatever, but they all do add up. So I think that helps the numbers overall.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, robust backlinks are key to traffic, so that's absolutely right. Perfect. Let's go there. And some more demographics. U.S., Australia, UK, France. Health of the site. Looks like it's gone up quite a bit traffic-wise. And what the ads are, so $1,000 benefit price for what you're paying, what you're probably getting for free, basically. So if you were to pay for it, this is a pretty healthy stat. And again, that's the SEMrush statistics. And we're showing a big spike in uniques over the last few months. And I'm sure it's maintained. Sorry, that was done a couple months ago. So what did you do to increase the traffic spike, and then what happened in September?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's completely from Google changing their algorithm. We were higher than that 15,000 before April, and then it dropped down for a few months, and then it popped back up again, and it has stayed above that ever since. I think we're at about, right now, if we look today, at about 24,000 uniques, and so I think it was just getting recognized for where we should have been all along.
Right, perfect. So you didn't have to do any repair; it just naturally reset and brought you up for the natural ranking. You didn't have to do any repair, backlink repair, or anything for Panda.
No, and I have not gotten any warnings on this site, so I don't think there was any kind of violation or anything. I just think it was just a natural evolution. One thing I did do, though, about I think it was maybe November or December, is when I switched to a theme that was completely 100% responsive. The one before was not, didn't completely pass in terms of being, responsible on all mobile devices, and now it is. So I think that probably helped a bit too.
Okay, great. I got a live question. You mentioned conferences. How many conferences a year do you go to? Does that help traffic? And also, are those conferences paid for? Are you comped or anything by vendors or no?
I go to one specifically each year that I do have to pay for. It's the Outdoor Retailer Show, and that is the biggest event out there, at least in the U.S., for gear-related companies. So all the big companies that are like North Face and Columbia and Patagonia and whatever, but also a lot of little guys you've never heard of that are introducing new products. It's a massive convention. It's in Salt Lake City, Utah, and that's the one that's the most useful specifically for this site, because virtually everybody there who is involved in the outdoor gear industry. And the conference itself is comped if you're a media person, but then you have to pay for your own travel expenses. But for me, it's so worth it because I can meet all the people, the PR people who are sending out gear, but also I can meet with advertisers and try to drum up some business. So from an ROI standpoint, it's good. But as a travel editor, I also go to some things like the Travel Blog Exchange, TBEX, and there are occasionally some gear companies there, but it's more travel oriented. I sometimes go to some ATTA events, the Adventure Travel Trade Association, and those are comped, but it's again, it's a little bit of gear, a little bit of adventure, a little bit of travel. So I think the OR show in Salt Lake is really the main one, and that's twice a year. There's a winter one and a summer one. I mostly go to the summer one, but occasionally I've been to the winter one.
Nice. And then another one. You said it was seasonal. Is you get more traffic in the winter or summer? Is the gear reviews more oriented to summer or winter?
No, I think there's just more people in shopping mode around the Christmas holidays. So December, when people are buying gifts, and then January when they're cashing in their gift certificates and things like that. But it's not huge. Our traffic is fairly consistent throughout the year. It's more a matter of the mix of what people are reading will change seasonally. So, 2 or 3 months ago was all about winter jackets and snowshoes and base layers, and people were paying a lot more attention to those things, winter boots. And now that we're getting into spring, people are reading more about travel shirts and sunglasses and maybe a little bit on luggage and things like that. So it just the most popular posts will change a little bit throughout the year, and you can see those on the home page. Actually, that's updated automatically, the 10 most popular posts, and so that kind of gives you an idea what people are looking at right now. But the most popular one on there, which is about packing cubes, is on there. It's at the top almost all year long, so that's pretty perennial, I guess.
All right, perfect. So this is the obviously the page views. Looks like 2x usually, pretty standard, a little bit more than normal, so that's good. Healthy site. And then what are we looking at here on the screenshot here, Tim? This is back end.
Let me zoom in a little more, but yeah, this is the just the dashboard. I think the WordPress setup, and I don't have anything too strange. Everything's pretty standard. I've got a theme that's off the shelf that I bought from this company called My Theme Shop, and then I paid someone to tweak it a little bit, but it's set up with a child theme, and everything's really easy and kosher as far as needing, when you update to a new version of WordPress or you update the theme, nothing's going to go haywire. It's all pretty standard. And so what I have on the dashboard is nothing real unusual either. As far as plugins, they're just the usual kind of SEO plugins and ad serving plugins and things like that. I don't have anything that's been customized.
And about how much admin a week do you have to do as far as back end work?
Probably an hour or two at the most. I mean, I spend more time because I'm actually reviewing some products too. But if I take that out of the mix, I think probably it's an hour a week, because it's really just updating plugins and making sure there are no broken links and things like that.
Sure. What are we seeing right here in this one?
This is just the posts, rundown of what's scheduled, what people are working on, and what's already run. And I've got a analytics plugin in there, so whatever that is, the fourth or fifth column there, I can see what kind of traffic each post is getting, which is pretty handy if you want to just get a quick overview of where things are, because you can go scroll through, hit page 2, 3, 4, and you can go back a couple months. And then that also lets me see at a glance if somebody has forgotten to fill in their SEO meta tag information. It's because that all pops up on there as well.
Right, perfect. More of the same admin. And then revenue spikes kind of up and down all over. Anything to explain the up and downs?
Yeah, the spikes are mainly whether I've gotten any direct ad revenue booked for that month or not. So, I mean, the affiliate income does fluctuate a bit. Some months are better than others, but our standard ad package is $500 a month, and so if I've got 2 advertisers, that can make a difference. The clothing arts one is paying a bit less than that because they have a different package, but if someone new comes in, that's the standard rate. So that's mostly where the jump is. The affiliate income is fairly steady, but it does fluctuate some, and AdSense fluctuates some, but that's where the spikes and troughs come from mostly.
How difficult is it to obtain advertising for the site?
Not, I mean, I would always love to have more, but I don't really go out there and beat the bush very much, which I think maybe if someone who was taking this over had more time or had more sales skills, that would be definitely an opportunity to raise the ad revenue because I'm juggling a lot of other projects, which is partly why I'm looking at selling the site just to free up some time because it's very time consuming to try to get to the right person who actually has the budget to purchase advertising. So going to that OR conference has helped a lot because I've made a lot of face-to-face contacts there. But most of it comes in because I send a quarterly newsletter out to a database of 350 industry people, and some of those people are marketing and advertising people, and I always make a pitch for advertising on there. And this call I have to later this afternoon is directly from that, where I sent out a newsletter last week and said, you know, hey, we're going to have a spot opening up here soon above the fold. If anybody's interested, get in touch. And one company did, and so that's what I'm talking with them about. So a lot of that comes in kind of passively without a whole lot of effort, but if someone put more effort into it, I'm sure they could generate more of that and on a more steady basis.
Speaking of a newsletter, I got a live question. Do you have a newsletter, like a user-based, client-based newsletter? And have you ever thought about doing that, monetizing a newsletter as well?
Yes, I do have one. It's probably only about a year and a half old at this point because I was kind of relying on RSS for a long time there. We were getting a lot of traffic from the RSS feed, and you could sign up as a newsletter subscriber through RSS. But as people on this call probably know, RSS has been fading pretty steadily the last 2 years from social taking over. So I have one called the Insider Gear Deals newsletter, and so if you go on the site, there's a little strip at the top that's a prompt for people to sign up. And I've got about 420 people on that right now, which is not a huge number, but they're all double opt-in subscribers, and they're basically saying, hey, send me deals because I'm looking to buy gear. And so it's a pretty good audience to have. And so I send out a newsletter to them once a month through my email newsletter service, and it's all basically just deals that I'm getting through affiliate programs. So, through REI and Backcountry and Sierra Trading Post and those companies, but also some direct brand ads like from Eddie Bauer and Columbia and Patagonia and companies like that that have pretty strong direct sales. And there probably would be a way to grow that list faster if you got more annoying in terms of putting more pop-up ads on the site and things like that, but I've just kind of been reticent to do that.
Sure, perfect. And then expenses, pretty standard. There was a bump to 300 in December, but pretty steady at between 200 and 225.
Yeah, and that's mostly again what I'm paying the writers. I mean, hosting's pretty minimal. The email service is not much to send out to that many people, so it's pretty much just paying for content.
Perfect. So tell us about the day-to-day operation of the site. I know you said you kind of touched on it earlier. What is required? How many hours? So
yeah, I mean, I set an hour a week probably for the actual admin, but that doesn't include sending out social things. I do some of that's automated where, for instance, on Twitter, a tweet goes out as soon as a new post goes up, but I usually try to go in and at least every day or two and if somebody has mentioned us, I try to reply to them or retweet it. I try to pick some things out from our feed sometimes and retweet those. And then same on Facebook, we post by hand. You could automate it, but I post each review on there and also notify the brand by posting it on their site. And then I'll put stuff up occasionally on other platforms, post something to Pinterest. But if you added all that together, it probably we're talking like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It probably adds up to another 2 hours a week. And again, you could automate more of that. And I actually have an admin who works for me in the Philippines that I pay $4 an hour, and a lot of this I offload on her as well.
Nice. And if you weren't selling the site, what do you see as the site growth, future expectations? Where do you see it going? Where do you see a new owner? Where would you like to see a new owner head out with the site once they purchase it?
Sure. Well, I think there's an opportunity there to, like I said, be a little more aggressive on the ad side and getting more clients. There would probably be a way to charge to raise the price of that package by maybe doing a little more. I mean, I always throw in a little social media and say that we'll guarantee that we're doing a review a month or something like that to try to sweeten up the ad, so it's the ad package, so it's not just a straight banner ad deal. But then in terms of traffic, there's a lot of things that could be done both in terms of traffic and to grow the list, as far as running Facebook ad campaigns or testing CPC kind of campaigns and that kind of thing. I've not spent hardly any money whatsoever on marketing, because I've just relied on organic traffic, because that's been pretty plentiful most of the time. And of course, that's the dream. You don't have to spend anything to get that. But if I think probably if you did spend a little more on Facebook ads, that would reap some dividends. As far as content goes, I mean, I think we're on a pretty good track, but you could possibly eke out a little more traffic by increasing the number of posts, or by trying to zero in a little more on exactly what people are searching for and sort of reverse engineer that a little bit. I've not done a whole lot of SEO research because for product reviews, it's pretty clear when you review a product and people are searching for it. If you rank high, that they're going to find you. But there are probably opportunities on the SEO side to get a little more strategic in terms of trying to rank higher for specific general phrases. And last, I think there probably could be an opportunity to do more roundup kind of posts, like the 5 best travel pants for hiking, or the 5 best 4-wheel luggage suitcase carry-ons, that kind of thing. I've not done a whole lot of that because partly just because it's a little more research intensive, and we tend to be just reviewing products that we're actually using hands-on. But there's probably an opportunity there to do more BuzzFeed kind of posts than we have been.
Live question. Have you ever thought about a forum attached to it? Because it seems like the travel genre is kind of relating back and forth each other's experiences. Has anyone ever asked about that or inquired about that?
No, I haven't gotten any inquiries about that, and I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I will have to say, I don't know how related this is to that, but we do not get very many comments on this blog, and I run other blogs that get far more that are travel related, and I think that's partly because people come to this site because they're already pretty convinced they're going to buy something, or they're getting a second opinion, or they're trying to validate their decision. So they don't feel such a need to leave a comment unless they already bought the product and it sucks and they want to vent. That's the kind of comments we get. So there may be an opportunity for a forum there, but it could end up being a complete flop. So I don't really know, to be honest.
Right. So just tell us, you kind of touched on it earlier as well. Tell us why you're selling the site.
Yeah, if you want to see what else I run, you can go to alcentromedia.com, or you can search my name, timleffel.com, and it might make you a little exhausted when you look at it, and that's kind of how I feel sometimes, because I've got a lot of balls in the air, or spinning plates, or whatever you want to call it. I've been a travel writer and editor for about 20 years, and I have some books out, and I run several different niche websites that are all covering sort of different aspects of travel. And I just would like to scale back a little bit, because I'm frankly just working more hours than I would like. I've outsourced a lot of things, and I have other freelancers obviously working on this site, so it's not just me. But doing 1 or 2 product reviews a week still is 4 or 5 hours of my time, not to mention interfacing with the PR people about gear they're going to ship me and things like that. And so I think if I offloaded this site to someone else who could spend more time on it, I would be able to concentrate on some other things. I tend to put out a book every year, and so I it's always a big struggle finding enough time to write the book. So it's really just it's purely to free up my time, and this site I think is easier to understand and easier for somebody to take over immediately than some of the other ones that I run.
Perfect. All right, so I think I asked all the questions that we asked all the questions that were asked of me during the presentation. Don't have any left over. I just want to thank Tim and everyone else who attended. Again, my name is Eric. You can see my email below or on the screen, eric@latonas.com. And my Skype, you can always Skype me as well, add me on as a contact, and I'm always on. Just want to thank everyone for attending. Thank you, Tim. You did a great job, and the site looks very nice. So
thanks so much.
And have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.